Hey guys, welcome to Jen Lowry Writes. Today, I just wanted to spend some time on here, just stream and chat and talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and that is coaching and helping people get over whatever it is that is the brick wall in front of them, helping them to achieve their goals. And so, with me being a coach, I'm a literacy coach all day, I'm an author coach, and I'm a trained cognitive coach. And so a lot of what I see that stands in the way of creatives working through and getting to where they want to be, it's not just about consistency. I mean, I know consistency is huge, and I'm telling you that matters. Like if I tell people that I'm going to be live at 3 o'clock, yeah, my favorite thing like ever to eat, can you guess? Yeah, you can still hear the ice in there. Yeah, we were just down as a family, and I kept looking, going, okay, I said 3 o'clock, guys. I got to go run. Hey, Tish. And so, the promise that you'll be where you are when you say you're going to be there, I think sometimes that can be a brick wall. And so, making sure that you're consistent and that if you tell people you're going to do something, really try your best to stand by those things. And I think oftentimes people can just lose their steam. They can just say, I don't feel like it today. And you know what? Life does happen and people understand that. But I think one way to get over that wall is just to be so transparent with your people. And you let them know, hey, like for me, I've got a house full of kids. They may come first with something, or my husband might need me to do something, or we might be in the middle of doing like a family event or an activity. And then I'm going to have to let my people know. And I'll say, guys, I'm sorry I can't stream today, or I'm sorry that I'm not available today to help you with whatever it is that, we're doing because I've got X, Y, and Z going on. And you don't have to tell your whole personal itinerary, but you can just say, dude, I'm unavailable today. But you're being transparent. And people will understand that and they will respect that instead of just dropping off the face and then nobody knows where you are. And then days and days later, you might say, oh, I feel like streaming again. Well, I would say that might push people a little bit the wrong way. And they may say, well, where were you at all this time? You started off strong. You started with this commitment. And so I do say thinking about scheduling is important for you, but also understanding that life happens. So let your people know. And that's why another obstacle, obstacles, let's talk about these. Because another obstacle is where people don't feel that it's necessary to have social media. And I think that the lack of social media, so let's talk about number one, consistency or like losing steam. Because we can go back to these. I think losing steam, I'm going to put them in here in case we get somebody that comes in to chat and talk with us. But I think losing steam, if you're trying to build a consistent platform, you can get tired or things can come up. But a way to combat that is to have a plan and to also tell people, hey, not around today. I'm still here, but I had other family things going on. You guys are the best. You understand. I'll check you out here. And if you follow and you hit the notification, you can find out when I'm going live. And so the question is, Tish, did you get notified with your app that I was going live since you followed the channel? Or did you see it when I was posting it out on social media today? I'm going live at 3. I would like to know that. Yeah, the app. So that's the benefit of encouraging your people to follow you. And so let's talk about number 2. An obstacle can be this conversation about followers. I'm putting that as number 2 since that came to me right now. You don't have to buy your followers. Please don't do that. And you do not have to do follow for follow. You just need to show up, be consistent, bring value, do your thing, but mainly have joy doing it. And then whether like if you have 1 follower or if you have 15 followers or whatever you have, you won't get caught up into that numbers game, but it would be authentic engagement. You will actually have people that are listening to you and want to hear what you have to say, or they just like being around you, period, because you're like a positive light. Whatever it is, you might be one of the most hilarious people that they've never met before, but they feel like they know you because they're a part of your circle. And that's important about the follow. It's not about how many you have, but are you engaging in the way with your followers? That just is such an authentic way that they'll start coming back and they'll know either by following you and hitting that notification. So don't think you're begging people. So if you think you don't want to beg people to follow you, you don't want to ask people to follow you, then I need you to wipe that out right now, like clear it out. It is appropriate and acceptable for you to remind people that you would like for them to follow and get notified, because that means you would like to see them in the chat again. You would like to be around them too. So I would suggest that you get this negative thing out of your mind if that's one of the obstacles. It might not be. How comfortable are you on a scale to 1 to 5 saying to, your followers, hey, follow, subscribe, notify, tell your friends about it? How comfortable are you saying that? 1 is like the most awkward thing you've ever done in your life. To 5, you understand that that's something that you can do to help encourage other people to build your community. From 1 to 5, I would love to know kind of where you fall. I'm extremely comfortable with saying it. That's just because I like the whole streaming thing. Yeah, Tish, I'm so glad to see that you're a 5, because I can see that this could be an intimidation thing where you don't want to come off like you're too strong. Like, please, please, please follow me. It's going to make my life so much better. I mean, come on, you don't have to go that way. But a gentle reminder every now and then, to say to your people, I really like that you're here. This chat is awesome. You guys are the best community ever. You guys are hilarious. Tell them the reasons why. You are supportive. You really, you put up with me, whatever it is. Say that to your followers. Say that when people are around you and be real about it. And then they may go in and say, hey, I'd like to follow her. It's just a really cool place. Or he's got a place where I just feel like I'm hanging out with the guys. And because I don't know a lot of people or what I'm doing, this is perfect for me. You can build wonderful online communities online. Okay, so here's another brick wall. And I want to talk about the misconceptions about online communities. I am not saying that there are online communities out there that are not, there could be some that are not healthy. There could be some very toxic environments, okay? But I am saying that that is not a rule of thumb. You can find some wonderful communities online that you can become a part of, and they are your true friends. I'm serious. They're like friend. When I say true friend, it's like this person is there for you. This person supports you. They care about you. They pray for you. That can happen in an online community. So this misconception that there's this divide between you and the person that's on the other side of that screen, I want to ask you to please pray that away. There is not a divide unless you put the brick wall there. And I want you to think about the power of relationships. And online communities can bring you strength, happiness. You can find just your place there where you feel like, hey, I'm a part of this community. This community matters. Whatever it is about that community that appeals to me, that draws me in, then I know I can feel safe there and I'm welcomed and I can just be me and I can relax. And that's how you need to be as a host. That's how you need to be as a follower, wherever you are on the screen. So the misconception is that true friendships can't really be built, that this is all a game people play. That is so not true. There have been so many wonderful relationships. If I could hop in a plane right now, if I had the money and I wasn't scared to get out of my house and move because I don't get out, if I had just unlimited money, I would get a plane ticket and I'd go see Tish. Tish, you are so dear to me. I would love it if we could sit and drink us some coffee together and just give you a big old hug. You are a dear friend to me and a sweet sister in Christ, and I love you very much. And we met on an online community. So no one can tell me that relationships built like this are not authentic. So that is a misconception out there. And I want you to break that and dispel those myths because relationships that can be built online are amazing. So, one, I met my husband online. And you guys don't know this because I'm usually talking writing, and Sunday is just about us chatting about misconceptions and the myths and the challenges that we are facing as streamers or YouTubers or influencers. The online relationships that you can build with people can truly be impactful. If they wouldn't be, then what's our why? So why do you feel like it's important to engage with people? It's because you feel like, one, like for me, I'm speaking me, I feel like I can help other people. That's why I'm always trying to share the knowledge that I'm learning. I also feel like maybe I could encourage people and I can show them some tutorials every day. And we can share our screens and we can have work time together. And maybe my work time, I'm sitting here typing away and I'm working on my book or I'm making my t-shirt logos, whatever. And you guys are working and you're not alone and I'm not alone because we're building a community. And that is a special thing to me. And so that misconception, we need to kick that mess to the side. And it takes all of us speaking this unified message that one, we matter. Two, we matter in this space. And then the people that are with us, that are whether they're watching or they're engaging or they're chatting, they just might need to just hear that encouragement, see that light. We matter. And it's forming positive relationships. So I met my husband on a dating app. And y'all, I'm telling y'all this. He sent me this little rose. It was like this little rose emoji. And on our first date, he sent me a glass rose. I still have it. It's by the TV in a vase. Gonna keep it forever and ever. And from the first date, we knew. I mean, I have it on YouTube. I recorded, I was YouTubing way back in 2015 when I'm on my first date with my husband. And he told me that he loved me on our first date. He knew I was a YouTuber. He had subscribed to my channel and was watching my videos too. And I said, can I record this moment? And of course, I got us. So you will see me in a dress, Tish. Now I'm wearing a dress to my niece's wedding, but I don't wear dresses. But here I am sharing that special occasion. Like this man, this handsome thing, just told me he loved me, and I'm recording it on YouTube. And I'm like, guys, look, and I'm keeping it forever. So you can't tell me that relationships that you can build with people are not authentic. They so are. So are. My sons, okay, so my son, we homeschool. My sons are, they don't like me to say they're gamers because it means like they put them in, I don't know, this whole thing. Anyway, they love to play video games. They're in their rooms right now. They're in their room playing. And they love watching Twitch. I know all about Twitch, guys. Congratulations to E-Rob and his new baby. We got to experience all of that last night. And so I understand the power of them watching as followers and subscribers, and they subscribe and they pay the fees and all of that to support their favorite streamers, because that's like their ticket to the movies. That's like their ticket to go have a brother's night. And then they get to share that together. And they got all huddled around and was checking out E-Rob's baby. Like, they're forming memories around these streamers too. And so the misconception is that doesn't matter to the followers. I see it. I see it on the other end. And I know that it matters because we sit here and we have conversations, and I see how that works. And I see when they say, we need to pray for somebody if they're a streamer. I see how all of that works and the power in that. And so I want to tell you the misconception that you can't have this authentic exchange to where you're helping people, but you're also just giving them a place when they're hanging out. I mean, it's really, y'all, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a stand-up. I'm not here to entertain anybody necessarily, but I'm here for you. And I just like hanging out. I think streaming is cool. I think it's fun. I'm enjoying myself. The joy is truly there. And so I see this opportunity is for me to go after this time for me that I've carved out. Every day at 3:00, it's my time. I was looking at the clock. Oh, I get to go stream. I get to go talk about challenges and myths and things we need to bust. Because once we bust these things and we understand the power of communication and the power of followers and following and just being there and being a support system, you understand a greater sense of community. A community is not a number necessarily beside an eyeball that's going to come up in your screen. The community is about the feeling of togetherness that you can have, whether it's one person, 20, or 10,000, or however many. So don't get yourself caught up in all of that, okay? And so what number are we on? I don't know, Tish. I don't know if you feel like that too, where people could get caught up about that this isn't a true engaged space, but I think it's a wonderful space to be able to connect with people. So the misconceptions is that, oh, this isn't a real thing. It's pretty real. And we feel, yeah, I love it. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to bust a myth. Do you think I'm saying it like the way I feel so passionate about it? Yeah, Tish, I'm there. I love the space. I just think people get caught up in the numbers, and I understand that you feel like, well, if I get the numbers, I get more reach, and I get noticed more, and I get rankings, or I get my place, or it gives me some kind of credibility. Who are you serving here? Who are you serving? And where's your joy at? Because if you get caught up in that, I will tell you some of that joy when it's not. So it's almost like when you've got tons of numbers, your joy is going to be related to that. Well, then what happens if the numbers go down? The joy is going to go down. How about if you have joy with low numbers? And regardless of what this does, okay, I'm doing an exercise here. This joy doesn't go away. So find your joy in that thing you're doing, whether it's streaming or whether it's drawing or illustrating or doing digital art or writing, blogging, videoing, taking photographs. Is it about how many likes you got on that picture, or was it in the process of taking that picture and in the moment and you capturing that essence, that feel? Because if it's just about this, your joy is not going to sustain you. And so that's my word of encouragement, that it can help you get over some of those walls. And I think they're big ones. I think these are really big ones because they mess with our psyche. They mess with who we are. They make us feel as if, okay, the follower was on this arm, right? The follower is related to my self-worth, or the follower means I'm good enough or I'm not. That has nothing, I mean, honestly, do you know how many streamers there are? Do we even have a number? I'm sure we could go research it right now. Do we know how many influencers there are? Do we know how many YouTubers there are? There are already people in this space. It doesn't mean that it's so crowded that you can't be in the space. You can be uniquely you in the space, and you can matter and make a difference the minute you open your mouth. But you've got to have the courage to get out there and do this thing, to do this work, and do it consistently, because it's not about you. It's stronger than that. Because if it's about you and your numbers, you're going to lose that steam that I talked about, which was number one. You'll just lose it. You'll lose the steam. You'll lose the motivation to do it. You'll just not feel like it. You'll just say, nah, not today. And I think, okay, I can be wrong, but I've listened to so many authors, and I've got a big community, and people are messaging me and asking me questions, emailing me, so they know that they can come to me with questions or what's going on with their lives, and they'll message me on social media platforms. And they're like, well, what makes you how do you write so much? I'm writing. One, this is my outlet. This whole creative space that I live in, this is my way. This is who I am. My identity is in Christ. I love my family. But something else that I love to do is to be in a creative space. Whatever that creative space might look like. It might be me writing for the day or editing. I enjoy that. I love making the t-shirts yesterday. I had the best time doing all of that at the merch shop. And then I was drawing. I drew 3 pictures of a bulldog, settled in on one picture, and went ahead and redid my book cover. Because that's like my place. That's like an extension of my heart. And I'm doing it all to serve the Lord. And so I look at it as a service. And so when people say, well, how are you doing this? It's me and the Holy Spirit doing it. I'm not doing it alone. I have a wonderful writing community that really helps to push me and encourage me and pray for me and support me. I got my Aunt Dot, I got my kids and my husband rallying around me, and I share my work with them. I don't keep any of this stuff secret. They know I'm in here streaming. They know what I've been looking at today. They know I was learning about GoPros. We have a GoPro, and I was learning about the tech for GoPros, the old ones, and how they measure up with cameras. They're all about the learning process with me. I can share pictures with them. I was sending pictures to my friends. Tish got my pictures yesterday. Do you like this shirt? It's something that I enjoy doing. Now, the day that it becomes stressful and the day that it becomes about the numbers, and the day that I feel like, okay, I'm staring at a brick wall and I know it's all of these external factors, or it's something that's a mind game for me, then that's the day when I'm going to turn to prayer. And so that's one of my ways that I climb myself out of these issues. I climb myself out. Because for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And how am I going to serve the Lord right here in my house? I'm going to be on social media. And no matter how introverted I am, that's not going to stop me from being active and out there. I'm trying my best to do this life, encourage other people to face whatever their brick walls are, so that way they can continue to do the things that are set before them, the way that God has called them, so they can use their gifts for good. And so that's something else, to me. Why are you doing the thing you do? Because if you can't answer that, Tish, we've talked about that. You did a great why the other night. If you can't talk about your why, then you need to journal and you need to spend time really reflecting about your why, because that can help you climb a wall faster than I can imagine. Could you imagine being chased by a pack of Dobermans? Why would you be wanting to get across that wall? For life perseverance. You would want to survive. You would try your best to climb that wall, to jump that wall if you could. There is a motivator coming at you, trained attack dogs, right? What's your motivator to get yourself over these walls? Because the devil's going to want to steal your joy. So you're either going to let him steal it or you're going to keep it. You're going to keep your joy and have it more abundantly. And that's why I say the joy has to come first, and then the followers, whatever, all this issue, whatever you have going on down here that's just trying to be the mud and sink you back down, try to be the quicksand and sink you back down. You have got to have the joy. So get to that place of joy, and then I promise you, you'll feel better. You will. Because it'll be joyful. How can you feel bad and you feel joy? Like, you can feel tired and have joy. Trust me, I know. I'm tired, but I'm happy. And so that's something that helps me get over some of these brick walls that creatives can often face. Okay, so I have received today, just today, that they're stuck and they haven't written in 2 weeks. And so they want to know how to get over that brick wall. And that emotions are all over the place and it's really hard for them to focus and center in. So, one, I will tell you to pray. And two, I will tell you to find your why. Why is it that you started that writing project to start with? What is it? Maybe you need to take a break from the work, not forever, but maybe you just need to go and escape and read. Maybe you need to just get yourselves around words again. The printed word. Maybe you need to go watch a movie and just try to zone your brain out a little bit from overthinking and just enjoy a good horror movie. Maybe you need to take a walk. Get yourself out. Go out in nature and try to connect, because you're having a disconnect somewhere. And so whether you need to just release your mind from all of the tension and the ball of stress, finding ways to do that healthy, that could be one way. Another way is to surround yourself and to connect yourself back in with the words. You could do some poetry. So let's say you're working on a larger piece. Maybe you just need to play around with some words. And I don't know if you have ever seen one of these, but if you could do an I am poem, I think that could help center you back, and it will allow you an opportunity. Go look up that. I am poetry. Because you need to remind yourself, one, whose you are, you're God's. And then second, you need to remind yourself of the strength that you feel, that you have, and it's buried in there. You are a strong person. You just might not feel it in the moment because your mind is just so caught up because everything is going on. But you are a strong person. You can do this. You can't do it alone. You need people around you. You may need to seek help. You may need to reach out to friends or family or your writing communities or your groups to help encourage you. You just may need to get in the written word, whether that's the Bible or you need to pull up Artemis Fowl. Like I just grabbed that book and I'm reading one about kids on an elevator on the cover. What is the name of that book? Like I always have these backup plans. I have the word, I have worship music, I have books, I have the mentalist. Oh my gosh, it is getting crazy on there, season 5. What is up? I know all of these different strategies that help me. And all of these things, they do pull me away from sustained writing time. However, I'm focused in on words. Not only am I reading the word, that's helping to feed my soul. Worship music, lyrics, that's helping me too because of word choice and lyrical prose and all of that and the beauty of sound. That's helping me. That's relaxing my mind. You know what reading books does to me? It just makes it fun. I love reading in different genres too. I love reading middle grades because I'm working in middle grades right now, but I love just grabbing a picture book every now and then and just reading some picture books. They're fast and they're fun. I love Shel Silverstein. I don't know if you guys have ever read The Light in the Attic, but I just love going back to some of those old, silly little poems. And then I like to then play around with poetry and I'll write some. I don't share them all on my blog. I have tons of poems that I have that's in my notes. And so I'll do like little short sustained pieces. I might do a book review. That's still writing. I'm still contributing to my social media. I'm still contributing to my platform. I'm still connecting with readers and people that might read my work one day. I'm still doing things that help feed my soul and release whatever this negative energy might be in my mind. And when I'm watching The Mentalist, trust me, I love to pick at my husband about that show because I'll be like, she's going to pull a hammer out of her drawer. And then she pulls the hammer out, she knocks the box. I said, ha, told you. How did you know? How did you know the hammer? I'm the mentalist and I'll do all this stuff. And he's just like, not again, not y'all. Like I'm doing predicting skills, and I'm talking about character development. I am like looking through like an author's lens quite a bit. I'm like, oh, look at this parallel structure. Like they're talking about addiction here and how she's addicted here. These people aren't wanting to get help. She's not wanting to get help from Jane. And they're both having these addictive patterns. They can't let things go. And so that's what I'm like doing while I'm watching The Mentalist. But it's fun and I'm enjoying myself. But you can't tell me that all those little nuggets are planting seeds right up in here in this noggin. And that one day when I'm sitting in front of that screen, I'm editing and I'm working because I do sustain time. Some of those patterns can come back to help me with my plot structure, with development. Okay, so the whole thing about the don't feel like writing thing, I gave this person to pick a consistent time. And if you don't know what your time is, practice your time. And so I do these same strategies. I've called out all these strategies to you. But I said early morning, I've tried 3 o'clock, I've tried evening. I find that I write better early in the morning and in the afternoon. By the time the night comes, y'all, I'm kind of like, just kind of wanting to relax my mind because I go so hard all day that it's like there's a certain cutoff point. There's something about 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't know what it is, maybe after lunch, but I get tired. I want to take a nap. I want to take a nap around 3 o'clock, but I push myself through and I can get the work done. And it's like something about after supper, then I'm kind of like, I can still do a little bit, but it doesn't need to be something that is going to take a lot of brain power for me. I work better in the morning and in the afternoon. You could be the complete opposite. When's your best time? Identify your best time and try your best to set consistent schedules. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, when we were talking about consistency and showing up when you say you're going to show up, Try to do that when you say you're going to show up to yourself. So schedule yourself out. So this morning, when I woke up this morning, I can't even tell you what time it was that I made the thumbnail. And I put it up because I like to make my thumbnails because I get these like weird little things. I mean, y'all, really, that's how they freeze. Absolutely ridiculous looking mess. And I don't want that looking on there. At least I can put a thumbnail. It takes me less than a minute to make it. I already know what my title's going to be. I've already prayed about this stream. I knew today we were going to be talking, just chatting, just talking brick walls. I just felt like my heart needed to get all this out. Maybe somebody out there's needing this. I was having people talk to me about it. I put it up on a Twitter chat because people have been really feeling a lot of this lately. Like they're upset over some designs. They're feeling isolated. They don't feel like writing. They're stuck on projects. They're worried about the follows. They're consistently, they're not showing up when they're saying they're showing up. I'm like, okay, you know what? The best thing, let's just tackle all of these at once in a chat. And let's just get it all. Let's chat it all out. And then this can help you when you're talking to your friends too. And they say, well, I just can't write. I don't feel like it. Well, you can do all those different strategies that I just called out. Whatever it is, I don't feel like doing XYZ. Well, maybe you should try doing all of this wheel of choice so you can get yourself back into that thing that you say that you love. And so why did you start it to begin with? So I'm glad we're having this chat. I know that I led a Sunday Twitch chat today on Twitter. And as soon as I made the banner with the little thumbnail image, I got on Twitter. I was like, guys, I'm going live at 3:00. And then it was like, well, then let's chat about this topic. Let's just go ahead and talk about some things. And let's just see not only what the Twitter community, the writing community might have to contribute and say about this, but, what are streamers saying about this? Because I know that any kind of brick wall can be any kind of form of an obstacle or anything that's standing in your way. And what are some ways that we can help to overcome those things, that we can help either lift somebody up and push them over the wall and then climb over to be with them on the other side? How can we bust through the wall? How can we climb under the wall? Whatever it is, whatever way you're going, you got to get around it. So that way you can continue to do this work. And so I was having fun. I was watching The Mentalist and had the Twitter chat going. And I love that. I got to connect with some new people today. And I was like, wow, that's so, it's so worthwhile to invest in this community. And so another obstacle that I do think, I don't know what number we're on. I wanted to put, number 4. The investment of time into the community, into what you're doing. How much time are you investing? And then the next question is, are you investing your time on the right things? And that is an answer that you need to reflect on. And if you need to do a chart and chart yourself, if this is something that is an obstacle for you, this might not be one of your obstacles. You might have a great handle on time. But I think engaging in these kind of discussions like that can really help people when you are faced with being a leader in your communities, or when people start talking to you about this topic, you can have options to share with them about time. So you guys know I have a large family. And so when I got off last night, I was still creating the t-shirt designs. I ended up picking woman and creating a new product line for Sweet Potato Jones yesterday, and absolutely love it. Wish I would have used that one. I wish I would have bought myself that shirt for my order. And so I did spend more time when I closed out, or just went downstairs. because I had put myself in this room. This is the only place I can come in the house that has a sense of quiet. My husband is downstairs gaming right now. He doesn't want to have to hear all these conversations. I don't have an empty room. I don't have a studio room. So I can't just stay up here all day though, because my family still needs to meet to be visible, and I still need to give them of my time. And so I had to split it up last night because the UFC was on. And so here I am watching 3 knockouts in a row with my oldest son, and I'm watching UFC after supper. And then I'm going downstairs and I'm doing watercolor painting with my stepdaughter because I understand that they come first. So yes, could I have got back on and could I have streamed more? Sure, I could have. Could I have worked on the more edits? Even though I'm finished with that big round of edits, I still know that I've got to go in and work some more on those edits. I've got this weird thing that a teacher friend of mine, his wife is a professor, and his wife does this weird thing where she edits from the last chapter backwards. I don't know. I've never tried that. So he told me how much that worked wonders for his wife. And I'm like, that just came up to me again this week. And I'm like, maybe this round I'll try something new. And if it's not going to work for me, I'll be the first one to admit it and say, no, this didn't work for me, but it might work for you. So why not let me try it and have these lived experiences? So that way I could share them all out with you guys on the channel, and you could have some new strategies that you could play with that could help motivate you. And so I understand that there's, things that are in our lives right now and forever. There's always going to be things. It's how can you set yourself up with the time that you are given to make sure that you're going after your goals? Or are you just wasting time? Are you just scrolling on social media when you could be doing something else? And if you tell me that that's your brain break time, then okay. If that's one of your strategies that I was listing out earlier, like mine's reading the word, worship music, reading books, watching The Mentalist, all of that. If, all of those things that I was calling out that work for me, and drawing, I love to do that. That's like a place that I can go. And it's also for my books too, because I'm illustrating for my children's book. But whatever your time is, if you've got limited time, and it's limited, and you're not doing the thing in that process, whatever it is that long-term goal or even a short-term goal that you have, and you've got limited time, and you do have some time to work on that, and you don't, and you fail to commit to that, you understand that that's where your guilt is going to come into play, right? And then that's what is going to steal your joy. And then that's going to make you sad. And that's what's going to make you disappointed in yourself. So that's where all that is kind of wrapped in. We're going to real talk that out today, because you've got to understand that you are going to feel guilt if you say that you're going to do X, Y, Z, and then instead of that, you choose one of these other like roaming tasks that don't really connect back to your goal. And then at the end of the day, you don't have any of it done. And you'll say, what a wasted day. Well, if you did it to bring yourself peace and you obtain some joy and some peace, it is not a wasted day. It is a peaceful day. It is a joyful day. And you've got to give yourself permission to have those days. But I want you to have those days every single day and be productive at the same time. And that's where I'm challenging you to create yourself goal sheets where you're marking down goals to accomplish so you can visually see it That's why we did the vision board party. To kind of get you all motivated about what does this life look like for me and try to reflect and reorganize. Because sometimes we just need, it's not like we need to kick all of our things to the curb and do such a big overhaul. And instead of spring cleaning, which is kind of like taking the dust away, maybe getting rid of some clothes that you don't want anymore or whatever, into completely taking out your whole closet, that's an extreme. I'm not telling you to work in extremes like that. I'm telling you that it's in your best interest to find your healthy balance and do that thing. But if you've got limited time, what little burst of energy can you do in the limited time that you have that will allow you to accomplish steps towards your goal? I didn't say the whole goal. So then that's something that you need to do. Number 5, a wall is in front of you, okay? How do you break through it? How do you climb over it? Sometimes you need to take the task, whatever it is in front of you, and you need to break it down because the wall might be so high that it feels like so unreachable, so unattainable. So then you've got to make it to where you can get there. And you've got to build your own steps in order to climb your way up. And so imagine a rock climbing wall. That's why I like to think of it as how a rock climbing wall has all of the different pegs. I don't know what those are called. Footing pegs. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I want you to think of our walls almost like a rock climbing wall. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those competitions on TV. You need to go and watch them. They're really cool. They're on YouTube. My husband was fascinated with them, and we were actually watching not just drills and practices, but we were watching like national championships of indoor rock climbing walls. So I want you to get that visualization in your mind. And we would just be like so amazed at how one competitor would figure out the steps that it took for them to be able to get up that wall. Looks like a little Plinko game, like on Price is Right. They would go boom, 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 boom. It's like a fast little spider climbing up a wall. Itsy bitsy spider, go, go. Then there would be other people who would methodically take their time. They would try their foot on a peg, whatever they're called, try their foot on another one. They would get their hold just right, and when they would fall, because they weren't positioning their body in the same anchor the same way, they didn't give up. Not one time did I ever see a competitor just throw their hands up in the air and say, I'm not doing this anymore. There is no one in this life. Well, let me please take that back. I know there's people out there that can look like superheroes and Superwoman, Superman. They can fly over the wall. They can just fly. They can just leap the bound and they jump and they're Michael Jordan jumping that wall. Okay. I know that there are people like that, but I'm talking about like the majority of us. Okay. The majority of people, they see the wall and then they start seeing the different pegs, the different smaller pieces that they need to do. Then there's other people that just see the wall and that's all they see. And they need other people to come in, like a coach or like their writing community or their gamer friends or just people that they know, their family, their friends, their encouragers and supporters, and help them to see how to climb the wall. Where should they put their footing? Where do they need to lean? They need to lean into this with people. That's a beautiful thing. Because if I went to the wall, my approach to that wall may be similar to someone else, but it's going to be my way and I'm going to have to figure it out. And if I make mistakes along the way, that's okay. I'm just going to fall. I'm going to have all of the things wrapped around me because the Lord is like my harness. So imagine, have you seen the rock? Y'all gotta, I wish I could watch it with you right now, but I'm sure there would be like tons of copyright things that I would break right now. And I don't want to do that because I want to spend this time with you. But I want you to leave this stream, and I just want you to look for like 2 minutes what I'm talking about. Go to like indoor rock climbing competitions. I'm gonna see. You just indoor rock climbing. See, I'm gonna get started. But the way I would approach the wall is gonna be completely like a new way. It's gonna be my way. And I've got to embrace that because I know one way or the other, I'm gonna find ways that I can achieve what I need to do, or I'm gonna rethink it, or I'm not gonna abandon it, but I might modify it. I might put it off. Like, for example, I saw a wall in front of me. I needed to learn how to do my own book covers. My graphic designer was going to be taking a break. And she was like, I'm not going to be doing book covers for the next few months. I just want to let you know that we're moving and we've got a lot going on. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stop writing. I'm looking at this for the long haul, for the career. Maybe this is a good thing for me. So instead of looking at it like this is the end of the world, I said, this is a new challenge. Because I do that for myself. I talk myself up about all these things. So then I was like, but I'm not a graphic designer. And I had went through some really strange designs, tried to hire out some people, and it was just how they got their ratings and what I don't know. It's just like, what? And I paid this money for this. And so I was like, I'm going to put all of this into my own, my own hands. I got a good handle on this right now. I think I'm good enough to pass right now. I can always make more money, put it into my business later. So I took that as a challenge. And so I got Illustrator and Photoshop, and I bought it all. So I can make Adobe Spark without the little Adobe. I can videos, and I can learning curve, guys. Learning curve. Can I say it? Like, that's just because that's not what my skill set is. And I see all those buttons and I can get intimidated. And I know I've got a layer and I understand I need to do this and that. And I'm like, okay, there's so many tutorials though. It got to the point where there were like an overabundance of YouTube tutorials on Photoshop and Illustrator that I just said, I can't do this today. I'm going to learn watercolor. I'm still going to draw because the bottom line, I've got to practice my drawing. And if I'm drawing with the pen, if I'm drawing with the paint, I'm still drawing. And then I can scan it all in there. I can have the pictures go right back in the Illustrator, and I can take things one step at a time. So Illustrator's not going anywhere, but I'm not going in that direction right now. Did I completely abandon ship? No. I'm just taking a break and doing a different medium right now. And I understand that I've got to learn a lot more about the digital tools. And I've got a tablet and I've got everything that I need. So all the check boxes are there. I just have to say, okay, now I'm ready. And I'll go that way. But I understand that it's going to take me breaking up the task. First, I need to learn how to just do the whole drawing thing better. And I'm practicing that every week. So there'll be a time, and I'm coming in the summer, and so my day's going to look a lot different. But you might not be able to do a task analysis. You might not be able to analyze your steps into smaller, more concrete steps. And so that's something you can practice. You can take a big umbrella. You could take a big whatever it is, a big building. You can draw it out if you're a visual person, and you could draw out your skyscraper, and you could put yourself on the penthouse floor. And then you can think about all the different floors that you've got to go and rise to get to that penthouse. What is it that's going to make you do this? Maybe you need to take some online workshops. Maybe the YouTube tutorials weren't cutting it. Maybe you need to connect with your friends and have an Illustrator party where they've got Illustrator. Maybe you need to say, hey, teach me. Just ask for the help. and say, can we have a Zoom and screen share and or do a Google Meet? Who can you ask for help? What more research do I need to do to make myself get on the game? Because you can learn these things, and I'm almost 45 and I can still learn. I'm learning Twitch. I'm here. So think about all of the steps that you need, and that's how you break it down into smaller, sustainable chunks that will give you a sense of accomplishment. You won't get overwhelmed as much because you will see it into the smaller steps. And then you'll know, I'm going to hit that penthouse soon. I got my recipe all laid out. I got all the different ingredients. I'm about to eat that chocolate chip cookie, And so you think about all the things that it's going to take in order to get that absolute amazing chocolate chip cookie. I always talk about food, don't I? Now I want chocolate chip cookies. We got the best chocolate chip cookie recipe, like hands down. My stepson makes the best chocolate chip cookies, and he keeps the dough for like 48 hours in the freezer. It's absolutely amazing. But you have to do that with anything. And so why is it when we come up to a project, we think we're just going to get the chocolate chip cookie out of the oven and it's going to be done? Why do we think that way? It's because we want it now. We want it yesterday. So whatever it is that you're learning in front of you, whether it's learning the tricks and the tips of a new platform, or maybe you're trying to, figure out your skill set and learn a new game. Oh, gotta answer this. Love streaming because this is piano teacher. Of course. Just let us know what time. We are available every day, as you know, and we'll work with you however it best fits your schedule. He's got the best piano teacher. She was teaching him an X song last week, like things he loves. And then the week before that, they were doing a song out of the book. Solomon had a wonderful guitar teacher too. He taught him, went to the first lesson, and he taught him Freebird was his first song he ever learned. And then he was like, well, what do you want to learn? And Solomon was like, I want to learn Jesse's Girl. And I was like, yes, I'm raising my child right. So we did Rick Springfield. And I found him the best teacher at 8 years old. And now my son is advanced in his guitar. Love it. He's taking a guitar class. Hopefully it's going to be open. Sure. Message me anytime. Hopefully his guitar lessons. No problem. Okay. And so yeah, just like you can't sit in front. Now my grandma, she could play by ear. So I'm sitting here saying she didn't have to break the keys down and the lyrics, the notes, and all that. She knew she didn't have to worry about all the beats. She could just play. And I know that there are just sweetheart people out there like that. And that's the people then that you can just talk about in a nice way and talk about how they're using their gifts. And you can say, hey, you want to show me some tricks and teach me? So task analysis, do that thing. And that can help you get over the wall. Well, all right, guys, I hit my 1 hour of stream. I like to get on here each day at 3 o'clock, 3 to 4. I have my reasons for that time. I'm off work at 3, so then that cuts me off at 3, and then I can hit go live because I set up my stream to go in StreamYard. I have my broadcast studio already ready. I have my thumbnails already made, and so it's really easy for me to pop those in. And then my husband gets off at 4, and so then we could spend time together for a little bit before we have to go and cook dinner, or we start cooking right away because the kids are like, what are we having for dinner again? Okay, guys, I do have to show you. I said I wasn't going to screen share today. I got to brag about the book. Okay. I'm about to brag about a book. I'm going to show you on Amazon because I got it from Amazon. Do you see this book right here? Oh my gosh. We got this book in the mail today, and it's got the same shepherd's pie recipe, except they use beef broth and I use chicken broth in there. I love this book. It's beautiful. And that's what I'm talking about, merch shop. This is like a merchandise piece from that game. And my son plays ESO. They both love it. It's got some of the cutest like pages with the maps. I know you guys are like cute. You're calling that world cute, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, now that right there, it's like my meatloaf recipe, except it's got oysters in it. I will give that away. But the water of life, when we hit that recipe near the end, I was like, oh yeah. And just the introductory pieces, Sam was so impressed. He said, they must really know the world so much, the creators of this cookbook. So whoever this person is, thank you for bringing joy to my boys. Look, a lifelong artist and fan of fantasy, Chelsea Monroe Castle found an outlet for her multifaceted creativity with the great Game of Thrones food blog. In at the crossroads. It was so successful that she got an official cookbook. Wow. I love that. She started off with a blog, guys. I have not clicked on this before. Wow. Yeah, and the art in there, the photography, it's all just so beautiful. It is so well done. And instead of leaving it in the kitchen cabinet, my son was like, Mama, I'm going to take this upstairs with me. I'm going to keep it in my room and because he's got like a special bookshelf. I love it because he's got his Hobbit box set, he's got his Lord of the Rings box set, and he's got the Raptor Revolution beside it because he said my book is one of his favorites of all time. And so he's got it beside that. And I'm beside Tolkien with my baby. So sweet. Well, now he's got the Elder Scrolls, the official cookbook, and I will tell you that it is a cool cookbook. Now, at the end, of course, there was a bunch of mead recipes, and my son was like, Mom, I know we're not going to be doing the mead. And I'm like, nope. Sorry. But we are going to be making the apple cider that's in there, the spiced apple cider, and we'll do the eggnog, and we'll just take the alcohol out of the ingredients. But there's so many good recipes in there that we're making next week. We're already going to start because that's one of our goals for this summer was not only to use that cookbook, but to spend our time together in the kitchen and do some diners, drive-ins, and dives before my oldest son goes off to college. So you guys are going to have to put up with me listening to all of these things. So I'm going to share that book with y'all to encourage you to do things that you love. What do you enjoy? I love trying new recipes. We make the best shepherd's pie. I'm going to give you all that shepherd's pie recipe. I know this is so not related. It is so good, y'all. I sent it to my nieces. I love Alton Brown. Anyway. Okay. I'm putting it in the task. I said task, so I read the word task. I am putting that recipe in here for you guys. And when you're making this recipe, there was another recipe that was in the book. It was identical to this one, except they said to use beef broth instead of chicken broth. So I guess you could do either one. We used a pound of lamb and a pound of meat, but my son said, let's just do all lamb next time. Okay, so that's a recipe for you guys. And when you're making it, or when you're making any recipe, understand that the way that you have to go step by step is how you have to break down the challenges that are in front of you. Why is it any different? Think of it that way. And then you're able to organize your mind around the process, that journey, instead of just the product. Because you can learn so much along the way that you may be blocking yourself from actually learning because you're so stressed out and you're so caught up with the gigantic wall in front of you. So, like for recipes, we have the empty plate and we've got our kids' hungry bellies and they're going, when's food ready? But they got to understand that if I'm making that homemade shepherd's pie recipe, it's going to be one of their favorite meals. Now it's over their favorite meatloaf meal. They love this shepherd's pie with lamb. But it takes steps for us to get there. It takes that journey for us to get there. So don't get overwhelmed and do not lose hope. And to continue this life that we live, that can be stressful and all about the follow and all about, am I worthy? Or just have your joy. Do things that you find joyful. Do that thing. And so I want to thank you guys for being with me today. I hope that going over these top 5 things can really help you when you're facing your walls as creative artists, and they can help you get over it, get over that wall. And then maybe you don't have any walls in front of you and it's smooth sailing. I guarantee that the Lord is going to put somebody in your path that you're going to have to give encouragement to help support, and maybe some of these things that we've talked about today, some of these strategies and tips, then you'll be able to use them as a part of your word to a friend to help encourage them. And so be that friend. Because life in this lane, in this social world, in this open world, it can get stressful if you let it. It also can feel isolated if you let it. But know that you're not alone. And understand what I told you about those myths and misconceptions about the value of online communities. And it's not just about, I met my husband in an online, you know, so I found the love of my life downstairs playing snow runners. It's not just that. It's not that my son met his favorite, like one of his, okay, he's got 2 best friends. We actually met them in Asheville at the Biltmore House so he could meet his friend in person. He's been best friends with this kid that he met online over a game, over an invite to a game. So my son has best friends out there in the world that don't even live in our states. One lives in one state on one side, one state on another side. And it's all through online communities. And so I want to encourage you to embrace your place and do that with love and with joy. And you can't go wrong with this stuff. You can't. So I know I'm loving it, and I'm glad you've been with me. And thank you for chatting today. And I hope that you follow and hit that notification so that way the next time that I go live, you'll get that ding and you'll be able to come and hang out with me, whether it's a tutorial or whether it's our work time together. If you're working on a creative project, it's just our hangout time. I love these Sunday chats. I've done the author chats before. So, like, I'll have people that will email me, Jen Lowry Writes. I'll put my email up. I have, people that email me, they contact me out on social media, and, they're sharing with me, they're asking me to pray for them, they're talking about what they're having to deal with and go through, and they just want prayer. I'm sorry that I don't do any beta reads for people that are, I already have a writing community that I work with, and so I don't read other people's work like that. I do book reviews of books that I'm currently reading that's on my shelf. So I'm sorry, I did receive a beta read request, and I'm sorry that I don't do open beta reads. I am not an editor. That is something I cannot do. I cannot be your developmental editor, and I'm sorry. I don't have that skill set. But I can tell you there are writing groups out there. You can hire an editor. Um, you can go out and just put it up there on Twitter in the writing community, and you can talk about needing editing services, and I'm sure you'll get a bunch of people where you'll be able to actually see what they can do with your work. Like a lot of times people will give you samples now because it's competitive and they know that they need to show the kind of style that they do with editing. So, but just email me if you're thinking of future episodes and would like for me to research some stuff. Send them my way. I'm here on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube because I do practice the dual streaming right now because I am planning with my WWJs an event, and it is called the Writing Warriors for Jesus Writing Conference, and we're going to be streaming on 2 platforms. And so my purpose is to get very comfortable with being able to run chats, be able to keep up with the different platforms. And so I may not always run everything on YouTube. I may run it to my private Facebook group sometimes because we may be using Facebook as a platform for the WWJs. Like we're still in the, working all of like that behind the scenes, but we will be here on Twitch. So we will be on Twitch. So follow, keep up with everything. I just want to thank you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow. And you know what time? 3:00. 3:00 on the dot. I'll be here. So I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.